One of the worst things that golfers do is to overlook the basics. We get attracted by all the fun things that happen with a golf swing, all the exciting shots we can do, or all the tips online. But if you ignore the basics, the foundation of your golf swing, you are always going to struggle. So let's fix it. What you have to understand with the iron swing is we want to try and have a descending blow. The golf swing is sort of like a circle or an oval depending on the spine tilt, and we want to ensure that we strike the ball and then the turf. You might have heard a lot about shaft lean and things, and I'm actually going to talk about that in another lesson, because shaft lean might actually be an enemy of good ball striking for you, but you're going to find out why. Now, ball position, I want to make this as simple and easy as possible. There's always ways you can fine tune it and do various things. So we're going to go into the differences about how it affects your ball position. First of all, we're just talking about weight distribution. What do I mean by weight distribution? Because we want this circle, this swing to be a circle, we want the bottom of that circle, that arc, to be just after the ball. Now, that's the general sort of feel that we want. So we need to make sure our setup matches that intent. If I was to hang back like a driver here, okay, where I've got a lot more spine tilt, where I'm going to be hitting up on the ball, if I set up this way, it's going to be very difficult for me to make a descending blow into this ball without having to make a big adjustment. Meaning, if I'm over here and I sort of make my swing, I've got to make a big move to get that ball first and then the turf, okay? We don't want that. We want to try and make it as effortless as possible. We want to try and make sure we have 60% of the weight on our lead side to 40% on this trail side, okay? And what you're going to notice is, just by finding that sort of balance in the feet here, just trying to sense the ground, we are going to feel that just by having a little bit more weight over on the front side, doesn't necessarily mean I move my whole body, but my head is staying central. And now, just without doing anything else, I can make a little swing and I'm brushing the ground just after the ball. When you overlook the basics, you end up spending way too much time on the stuff you just don't need to pay attention to. The next part we're going to cover is your balance. Balance isn't just an overall concept. It's extremely important when it comes to allowing the club to swing, feeling the weight of the club and having poise. But sometimes we screw ourselves up because we don't have the balance we need right from the offset, okay? And it's, you know, it's ignored, and I want you to stop ignoring it and pay attention to it, because you have to refine it. Now, the balance affects so much, not just for a pretty looking swing. If I have too much weight on my toes, whether it's because of my spine, where I'm tilted over too much, or I've got sort of too much knee flex here, it's difficult for me to make a swing that's sort of nice and rounded and free flowing. The type of swing you'll tend to see is something that just sort of picks up, because I'm trying to counteract myself this way, okay? I'm fighting from falling backwards. And what happens is, as the weight of the club starts making its way back to the ball, I save myself in a way, and I will fall back that way. In result, scooping the ball, lifting it up, getting away from that descending blow that we were talking about. Likewise, if we've got too much weight on the toes, if we have too much weight on the heels, we are going to do exact sort of opposite. So what can happen is, if my weight is already too much on the heels, or I'm sat back too much, it's very easy to me to fall back, and to counterbalance, I'm going to early extend through the ball. Again, this is catastrophic. So what do we want? We want to make sure that our balance is directly in the center of the feet, in the balls of the feet here. This is golf simplified. And when you work on the foundation, you can have a game and a swing that you trust with every club in the bag, not just hitting consistent irons. So what do we want to do as far as general swing? We've got other videos that we can discuss on the grip. I'm not going to go into that, but I do want to ensure that you have flow, okay? The golf swing does not have to be rigid. It does not have to be long and rotational. Most people make the biggest mistake when it comes to drivers or 3-woods or something, or fairway woods, where it's a bit more thinking you've got to make a big rotation and a big rotation. When it comes to struggling with iron play, it's because of that big rotation and it's more of a sweeping action. We want to have that sort of slightly steeper angle of attack, and that's going to happen by two things. One, we're going to have very soft arms as we have our swing here. Very soft. We don't want to be rigid, okay? The club needs to weigh a ton. That's what it needs to feel like. If you allow this club head to swing itself a little bit more and you kind of get pulled along for the ride, it's going to be so much more consistent and a lot less effort for you. So you have it by a very firm grip, okay? As if you were casting a fishing rod. This club isn't going to leave my hands, but I have the whip. I have that acceleration without the force. So try and test yourself from like a scale of 1 to 10. How tense are you with the arms and the forearms? How tense are you with the grip and the wrists? We don't necessarily want it to be 1 where we're completely loosey-goosey, but we certainly don't want to be above a 6 or a 7. It's all going to be different for you, but that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And when you have that, we are going to feel like we are winding up a lot more. Forget about rotation. We want to be winding up, and the feeling is the hips are extending, the back is extending, and our upper back is extending up here. The left shoulder is going down, the right shoulder is coming up. None of that is thinking or trying to make a shoulder turn or a big turn in that sense. It's all about the tilts. You might have heard this in the instruction wherever on YouTube or whatever it might be. We want to have tilts, and it can happen by practicing certain drills at home that show, okay, what angle are my shoulders pointing at here, and through the ball, what am I pointing at here? You need to understand that the swing is a lot steeper with an iron, but we have flow. So it's wind up and flow. Thanks for watching that iron lesson. Now, if you want to elevate the rest of your game with a really simple concept, check this video out. It is going to help you a ton.